ARMY shocked. The world's biggest fashion show announces Jungkook BTS as the main star of 2026. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Kpop Update. Before we go any further, let's do something rare in today's fast-moving world. Let's slow down. No rush. No scrolling. No skipping ahead. Because this story was never meant to be consumed quickly. This is a story meant to be absorbed. When history doesn't announce itself loudly. Some moments in history arrive with fireworks. Others arrive quietly. So quietly that many people almost miss them. This was one of those moments. No dramatic press conference. No red carpet. No flashing cameras. Just an official announcement. Carefully worded. Precisely released. And yet, within minutes, the global fashion industry, the entertainment world, and millions of ARMY around the globe felt the same thing. Something irreversible had just happened. The weight behind the title's main star. Let's be very clear about one thing. Being named the main star of the world's biggest fashion show is not an honorary title. It is not symbolic. It is not decorative. It means the entire creative direction will orbit around one presence. The concept, the narrative, the visual identity, the emotional tone, all of it. And in 2026, that gravitational center will be Jungkook of BTS. Why this announcement felt unreal to ARMY. ARMY have celebrated countless milestones before. Chart records, awards, stadium tours, historic firsts. But this felt different. Because this wasn't about numbers. It wasn't about sales. It wasn't even about music. This was about recognition at the highest cultural level. The kind of recognition that says, you are no longer part of a trend. You are part of history. Fashion as a mirror of power. Fashion has always been more than clothing. It reflects who holds influence, whose voices are amplified, whose stories are centered. For decades, the faces of global fashion followed an unspoken rule. One that rarely changed. But rules don't disappear overnight. They erode slowly, until one moment makes it undeniable. Jungkook's selection was that moment. Jungkook, the icon who never tried to be one. One of the most striking things about Jungkook is that he never chased the image of an icon. He chased growth. He chased discipline. He chased sincerity. And somehow, by focusing on the work rather than the spotlight followed him anyway. That is the kind of presence the fashion world respects most. Why authenticity matters more than perfection. The modern fashion industry is evolving. Audiences no longer want perfection. They want truth. They want to feel something real. Beneath the fabric. Beneath the styling. Beneath the spectacle. Jungkook represents that shift. He is polished, but human. Refined, but grounded. Global, but deeply personal. And that balance is incredibly rare. The silent preparation behind this decision. This decision did not happen overnight. Behind closed doors. Designers observed. Creative directors analyzed. Executives paid attention. They noticed how Jungkook's appearances shifted brand perception. How his presence generated organic conversation. How audiences responded emotionally, not just visually. This wasn't hype. This was data, intuition, and long-term vision aligning. When ARMY realized this was bigger than fandom, at some point, many ARMY felt it. That quiet realization. This isn't just about us anymore. This moment belonged to young creatives watching from afar, artists who never saw themselves represented, future generations who will grow up seeing this as normal. And that might be the most powerful part of all. 2026 as a cultural checkpoint. Years from now, people won't just remember the show itself. They'll remember what it represented. A moment when global culture shifted its center of gravity, when influence stopped flowing in one direction and began moving in many. And Jungkook stood there, not as an exception, but as proof. The symbolism of presence, not performance. Interestingly, this role doesn't require Jungkook to speak. It doesn't require a speech. It doesn't require explanation. His presence alone carries the message. That is the highest level of cultural fluency. ARMY and the feeling of shared time. ARMY often say, "We grew up with him." And moments like this validate that feeling. Because this isn't just his timeline. It's ours too. Every late night. Every comeback. Every quiet moment of pride. They all led here. The fashion show that hasn't happened yet already matters. What's fascinating is that the show hasn't even taken place. And yet, it already changed conversations. Already reshaped expectations. Already redefined possibility. That's how you know something is historic. A pause before the future unfolds. ARMY. This is where we pause again. Not because the story is over, but because the next chapter hasn't unfolded yet. The lights are still off. The runway is still empty. The music hasn't started. But one thing is certain. When 2026 arrives, the world won't just be watching a fashion show. It will be witnessing the culmination of a journey. One that didn't begin under bright runway lights, but in quiet rooms, long nights, unseen choices, and moments that passed without applause. A moment that began right here. Right here, where curiosity first turned into belief. Right here, where a name stopped being just a name and became a symbol of influence, presence, and quiet power. Right here, where we learned that fashion is not only about fabric, but about identity, timing, and the courage to stand differently, without needing to explain. By the time 2026 arrives, what unfolds on that stage will carry more than design. It will carry stories of evolution, of patience, of growth measured not in seasons, but in years of consistency and authenticity. Some will see silhouettes. Some will talk about trends. But those who have been paying attention will recognize something deeper. A statement shaped by experience. A moment earned rather than announced. So when that day comes, don't rush your reaction. Don't follow the loudest voice in the room. Write your thoughts in the comments. Not quickly. Not impulsively. But honestly. With the understanding that you are not just reacting to a show. You are responding to a story that has been unfolding long before the spotlight turned on. And as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching closely, for listening beyond the noise, and for being part of this journey with Kpop Update.